The Grapes of Wrath is a novel by John Steinbeck, published in 1939. The story is set during the Great Depression and follows the Joad family, Oklahoma farmers who have lost their land and are forced to migrate to California to find work. Along the way, they face numerous challenges, including discrimination, poverty, and exploitation by landowners. The novel is considered a classic of American literature and has had a significant influence on public discourse around workers' rights and economic justice. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1940 and has been adapted into several films and stage productions.
The Great Gatsby is a novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald, published in 1925. The story takes place in the summer of 1922, in the fictional town of West Egg on Long Island, New York. It is narrated by Nick Carraway, a Yale graduate who has moved to New York to pursue a career in the bond business. The novel explores the themes of wealth, power, love, and the American dream, as Nick becomes acquainted with the wealthy and mysterious J. Gatsby, who lives in a grand mansion next door. Gatsby is obsessed with rekindling a romance with his former love, Daisy Buchanan, who is married to the wealthy and brutish Tom Buchanan. As Nick becomes more involved with Gatsby's world, he uncovers the corruption and moral decay that lies beneath the glittering facade of the rich and powerful. The novel climaxes with a tragic event that exposes the true nature of the characters and the society they live in.
The Heart is a Lonely Hunter is a novel by Carson McCullers, published in 1940. The story takes place in a small town in the southern United States during the 1930s, and follows the lives of several characters whose paths intersect with a deaf-mute man named John Singer. Singer becomes a confidant and sounding board for several of the other characters, who are struggling with issues such as racism, poverty, and social isolation. The novel is known for its complex and sympathetic portrayal of marginalized characters, and for its exploration of themes such as loneliness, love, and the search for meaning. It has been praised for its powerful prose, vivid imagery, and insight into the human condition.
The Heart of the Matter is a novel by Greene, published in 1948. The novel is set in colonial West Africa during World War II and explores themes of morality, guilt, and faith. The story follows the character of Major Scobie, a police officer in a British colony, who is torn between his love for his wife, his Catholic faith, and his sense of duty to uphold the law. When Scobie becomes involved in a scandalous affair, his internal conflicts reach a boiling point, and the novel ends with a tragic and poignant climax. The Heart of the Matter is considered one of Greene's most important works and a classic of 20th century literature. It has been praised for its exploration of complex moral themes and its powerful characterizations. The novel has been adapted for the stage and screen multiple times and is widely studied in university courses on modernist literature and post-colonial studies.
The novel The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is a children's fantasy novel written by C.S. Lewis. It tells the story of four siblings, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, who were sent to live with a professor in the English countryside during World War II. While exploring the house, Lucy discovers a magical wardrobe that transports her to the land of Narnia, which is ruled by the evil White Witch. She befriends a talking faun named Mr. Tumnus, who tells her about the prophecy of the four human children who will defeat the White Witch and bring about the return of the true ruler, the Lion Aslan. As the story progresses, Edmund also enters Narnia and is seduced by the White Witch with promises of power and Turkish delight. The other siblings eventually enter Narnia as well and, with the help of Aslan and other creatures, they fight against the White Witch and her army. In the end, Aslan sacrifices himself to save Edmund, but is resurrected and defeats the White Witch. The children are crowned kings and queens of Narnia and eventually return to the real world.
The Lord of the Rings is an epic fantasy novel written by J.R.R. Tolkien. The story is set in Middle-earth, a fictional world created by Tolkien, and follows the journey of Hobbit Frodo Baggins as he sets out to destroy the One Ring, a powerful artifact created by the Dark Lord Sauron to control all other rings of power. The novel has had a significant influence on popular culture and is considered one of the greatest works of modern literature. It has been adapted into a highly successful film series, video games, and other media.
The Man Who Loved Children is a novel written by Australian author Christina Stead, first published in 1940. It tells the story of Sam Powlett, a charismatic but tyrannical father who dominates his wife, Henny, and their children. The novel is loosely based on Stead's own family experiences and explores themes of family dysfunction, power struggles, and the destructive effects of misguided idealism. The novel has been praised for its complex characters and vividly realistic portrayal of family life, but it has also been criticized for its length and occasionally dense prose style.
The Moviegoer is a novel by Walker Percy, first published in 1961. It tells the story of Binks Balling, a young man from a wealthy New Orleans family who is searching for meaning and purpose in his life. Binks is a moviegoer, and he finds a sense of order and meaning in the movies that he cannot find in his own life. The novel is notable for its exploration of existentialist themes, particularly the search for meaning and purpose in a world that often seems absurd and meaningless. It won the National Book Award in 1962 and has been widely regarded as a masterpiece of modern American literature.
The Painted Bird is a novel by Jerzy Kosinski, first published in 1965. The story follows an unnamed young Jewish boy during World War II who was sent by his parents to live with an elderly woman in a remote village in Eastern Europe. After the woman dies, the boy is left to fend for himself and experiences a series of brutal and violent encounters as he wanders through the countryside, encountering both kind and cruel people. The novel has been both praised for its powerful portrayal of the horrors of war and criticized for its depiction of violence and brutality. Despite controversy surrounding its authorship and allegations of plagiarism, The Painted Bird remains a significant work of post-World War II literature.
The Power and the Glory is a novel by Greene, published in 1940. It is set in a Mexican state where Catholicism has been outlawed, and follows the story of an unnamed whiskey priest who is on the run from the authorities. He is the last remaining priest in the region and is wanted for execution, but continues to move from town to town, offering sacraments to those who seek them, and struggling with his own sense of guilt and sin. The novel explores themes of faith, redemption, and the human condition, and is considered a classic of modern literature. It has been praised for its powerful imagery, nuanced character development, and moral ambiguity.